Hey kids, welcome to Store Hour Online. So Monday is Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a federal holiday in the United States, and it's in for honoring and mourning the military personnel who have died in the performance of their military duties while serving in the United States Armed Forces. The traditional flower for Memorial Day is the red poppy. And in today's book, we're going to read about the Poppy Lady, Moina Belle Michael, and her tribute to veterans. Story by Barbara Elizabeth Walsh. Now, instead of illustrations, the paintings in the book are by Layne Johnson. March 1917, a long time ago. This is when German U-boats had sunk another American ship, and the nation was outraged. Would the president call for war? Would Congress agree? And Congress is a governing body of the United States. Can you see the picture okay? Moina Belle Michael prayed not. She had been touring Europe when war first broke out in the summer of 1914. But now, bomb craters, trenches, barbed wire barriers, and battlefields covered the beautiful countryside, visions that still made her shudder. Now it's April of 1917. The paperboy wheeled his bicycle across the University of Georgia's normal school, slamming on his brakes when he reached Moina. Moina stretched the Athens banner away from him, struck by the thundering headline, "Wilson asking for war." Moina slowly climbed to the top of the dormitory steps and held out the paper for all to see. It was striking how different personalities reacted to the sight of that headline as war began hammering against the home door of every American. Moina knew what war would mean to the college girls. She was their teacher and foster mother. Their brothers, their sweethearts were at war service age. Some of their fathers were. Moina promised she would let them know as soon as the President and Congress reached a decision. All night, Moina called the Athens banner. Each time she was told to be patient. The President was still talking to Congress. At 10:30 p.m., she called again. "Tell the young ladies to say their prayers, to go to bed and to sleep," the frustrated editor replied. When news broke, an extra edition would be delivered to campus and into Moina's hands. Sleep was out of the question. On campus, Moina looked to the stars and moon, bright on this clear springtime night, and breathed the scent of white Cape jasmine blossoms. She thought of the boys at the university. She offered all to God if only He would spare them. She thought of boys throughout the country, if only she could go in their place. Before dawn, the edition finally arrived. Moina read Wilson's inspiring plea to defend democracy, defend the rights of small nations, defend the freedom of the seas. America was going to war. Moina vowed to do everything she could for the soldiers, to remember them. Moina knitted socks and sweaters, rolled bandages for the Red Cross, and when enlisted friends and students came to say goodbye, she gave them a little remembrance to take overseas. But Moina wanted to do more. She delivered books, magazines, and candy to their camps nearby. She and friends invited soldiers home for dinner, and I felt privileged to give my best welcome to these lads in my country's uniform. And when it was time for them to leave, Moina went to the train station to set them off. And my heart was thrilled with pride for their bravery, courage, and cheerfulness. They were so young. They were so innocent of the dangers they were to face. But Moina needed to do even more. To become a canteen worker for the YMCA and help soldiers overseas seemed perfect. She would listen about home and family and serve food to men on leave from the battlefronts. In the fall of 1918, her appointment approved. 49-year-old Moina headed for New York City and the training program at the Y headquarters at Columbia University. She successfully completed the course, but was told she was too old to go overseas. Moina refused to give up, but what could she do now? Help the soldiers before they left for war. Moina set up a desk in the basement of Columbia's Hamilton Hall, where soldiers, sailors, Marines, and secretaries came during their free time. Every day brought privileges to serve men and women going overseas, each to face the submarine, infested Atlantic and the gas, bombs and shrapnel of the battlefronts. But as winter approached, the large room turned gray and gloomy. The soldiers deserved a brighter, more comfortable place. Moina knew what to do. With her small salary, Moina brought fresh flowers and placed them throughout the room. More soldiers came to read and write. Others came to spend time with family, friends, and sweethearts. So often they would hang out about near the desk, waiting for a bit of attention. And Moina was happy to look at photographs, listen to letters, and share the latest hometown news. But she needed to do even more. On Saturday morning, a soldier left a magazine at her desk. Moina turned to a marked page to find "We Shall Not Sleep" by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, a Canadian physician. That's a doctor. She had read the poem many times, but she read it again, touched by McCrae's tribute to the soldiers he could not save on the battlefields of Flanders. The poem was most strikingly illustrated in color. Spirits of soldiers floated above a battleground covered in white crosses and bright red poppies. There were no names on the crosses, no memory of who rested beneath the red poppies, and Moina knew what she had to do. She read the last verse slowly. Take up our quarrel with foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. To Moina, it seemed as though the silent voices again were vocal, whispering. She thought of friends and students and the soldiers at the Y, and she knew she could never forget them. Moina turned over an envelope and wrote a pledge, ending with a promise. And when she finished, Moina looked up at 3 war workers standing by her desk. On behalf of everyone, they had come to repay her for her kindness. She shared both poems with the men. Impressed, they shared them with others. Soon, Moina was surrounded by men wanting poppies of their own, to honor their buddies sleeping now among the poppies of Flanders fields. Moina knew just what to do. With her $10 check, she announced, I shall buy red poppies. I shall wear red poppies. Poppies of Flanders fields. Moina went poppy hunting on the streets of New York. It never occurred to me the difficulty I would have in finding artificial poppies of Flanders fields in the novelty shops of New York City. At last, in Wanamaker's department store, she found 1 large and 24 small red silk poppies. Moina pinned one on her cloak collar and hurried back to the Y. It was evening and the room was quiet. Moina placed the large red poppy in the vase on the desk and handed out 23 smaller ones to the men and women leaving soon for France. She watched as they pinned them on their uniforms. Still, Moina needed to do even more. She would not stop until every American wore a poppy to remember the soldiers. Always. Each time we wear a red poppy, we thank the men and women who gave so much for our country's freedom. We promise to remember them, always. The end. Now, I know that was a long book, kids, but I think it's important that we learn about why we have holidays and why the red poppy is so important for this Memorial Day. So the craft for today is pretty fun, all right? And I'm wearing it, and it's a patriotic necklace. So you can wear it for Memorial Day and the 4th of July, and maybe there's another holiday called Flag Day. But, you know, it's kind of patriotic. So it's just some little blue beads. They're called ponytail beads. and paper straw. And I found the straws at Hobby Lobby in the in what is now I call it the patriotic section right now. It's got all the flags and the red, white, and blue colors, and I found it on the craft aisle. So it's just 5 beads with a straw, and I've got it on a piece of yarn, or you can use a shoelace, or if you have strong ribbon, and then you can wear it on Monday, all right, for Memorial Day. Thanks for joining me, guys. And I hope you have a good week, and I hope you enjoy your Memorial Day with your family. And let's not forget why we celebrate it. I'll see you next week. Bye.